In our leading story this morning, it's a decisive day at the Constitutional Court. The highest court on the land will hand down judgment in the social grants crisis saga. The Constitutional Court is expected to rule on whether CPS should continue paying social grants or not. Chief Justice Mogoeng reserved judgment in the case on Wednesday after describing the uncertainty surrounding the payments of grants a crisis. The government has not been able to find a company to disburse the grants after the contract with the current administrator of the grants, CPS, was found to be illegal. And it's now up to the Constitutional Court to decide if the services of CPS can be extended beyond the end of March to ensure that grant beneficiaries are paid in April. President Jacob Zuma yesterday defended Minister of Social Development Batabile Dlamini in Parliament. The president told parliamentarians that no one can be punished until proven guilty. Now, here are some options before the court. Or cap CPS profit at the current level of 350 million rand a year, and the commission be adjusted that at the end of the contract of the financial year. CPS could be ordered to carry out grants delivery for a month and a fresh deal be negotiated. Extend the existing contract for a few months without any increase in commission to CPS and without any profit guarantee. Let SASSA sign the new contract with CPS for 18 months. Take up SAPO's offer to gradual taking over of delivery of the SASSA grants.
The SASSA matter is being used to score some political points between politicians. We'll see on the 1st of April whether the SASSA funds will be paid or not. But I really believe that they'll be paid, and it was important for me to allow SASSA and the CPF to sort out that debacle. But at the end of it all, the money needs to be paid. They were perusing the questions, and I don't think they expected to get the answers because the president will only also say so much. But I think they were really trying to drive a narrative to say perhaps the incompetence or the suggestion of incompetence from the social development minister suggests that she needs to be recalled or she needs to be fired.
So what are the main sticking points in this matter? Well, the use of beneficiary database by CPS to sell other services or products to the beneficiaries. Whether CPS should be given a fixed amount or should it pay per beneficiary. No agreement that what CPS should be paid for continuing to deliver.
Look, I think it's important to understand the context of what we're trying to do. We're a state-owned company. We believe that the payment of social grants is a state function. Okay. And as to our state of preparedness, we've done quite a lot of analysis of this, and you must distinguish between financial services and postal services. Postal services is primarily a physical distribution game, whereas financial services is technology-based. Okay, and so if you look at the system that's required for the distribution of social grants, a lot of that is outsourced anyway to cash and transit providers, and we would use a similar outsourcing arrangement with them. But we do have, without question, the biggest infrastructure footprint in South Africa. And we have a very functional bank inside Postbank, which has got 5.6 million customers. It would take us 5 to 7 weeks to add another 12 million accounts onto that thing. We can produce the cards that are required. I think we must remember that 65% of social grants are paid to cardholders. Not all of them are in very remote areas with biometric identification systems. And so, our state of readiness would take some months, I think, as a transition. But we're not even asking you to trust us on that. We're saying limit the handover time for the existing incumbent and let us demonstrate our capability on an incremental basis, province by province, if you like. And if the Auditor General, if you like, wants to sign off that the Post Office can do this, then let us do it. Because what's the end game? The end game is that if this activity is maintained within the state, then the money that it costs to execute it is maintained within the state. We're a state-owned entity. And so we would argue that any money that can be paid to inside the system is a saving for the fiscus and our people. First of all, I think that on the 1st of March, we sent a letter to SASSA to say that if there was a sort of an emergency, then by virtue of electronic voucher system, the post office could help. Okay, and we could send electronic messages to the beneficiaries, and they could come and collect their monies at the existing, outlets and use, good old-fashioned ID documents to identify themselves and so on. That was a backstop that would have applied a month ago. It's too late for that now. Okay, it's still a backstop that doesn't take a long time to implement because it's an up-and-running system that we operate in the Eastern Cape already. But that's not what we're asking for. I think what we're asking for is a short transition period, like a normal handover period, where this thing can be properly dealt with under the guidance of SASSA, with Post Office as another government entity providing the service to them. Okay, and so I think that the effluxion of time has changed that scenario now, and I think that for the 1st of April, I think the incumbent has to do it. I don't think anyone can do it. At some point in time, if you asked anyone on midnight of the 1st of April, no one would be able to do it. Okay. But I think that it would be reasonable to say that within a 9 to 12-month period, there could be an orderly, audited, comprehensive handover to a completely technologically proficient system contained within government, costed within government, and with the additional benefits of being able to protect our people's data and to be able to be compliant with any other regulatory imposition on us as a government body.